Hello and welcome to Won't Be Forgetting That, a podcast talking about all of the most awkward and embarrassing moments of people working in the arts and entertainment industry. I'm your podcast host, Seb Muirhead, and today we have a guest. They are an actor, a writer, a celebrant, voiceover artist, producer, artistic director, chairperson, ASM-artist, sex bomb, resident redhead, and your best friend, Jessica Stanley.
Hello. One of those was a lie, but I'll let you choose which one.
Actor. I have performed with you before.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. I have just recently finished working with Jess, so I'm not being mean to her. That was fully truthful. She is a terrible actor.
It's true.
I'm joking. Fantastic. Thank you for coming on as well. I will wait until at least 5 minutes in before I start being mean to my guests.
That's fine. I accept that.
We have just a little peek behind the curtain, returned from Tasmania. We were down there shooting a feature film together, so we probably have spent way too much time together over the past 3 and a bit weeks. I think it was.
We're maybe a bit too in each other's pockets, so we'll try to keep the in-jokes to a minimum.
Yeah, and then this is the point where I try and insert an in-joke, which I've forgotten about. So. Da-da! There we go. That makes no sense. I am so sorry. But thank you for actually coming on here, because I'm sure you've spent way too much time with me already.
I'm a slut for podcasts, and I love talking about myself like most actors. So.
I know. It's disgusting. I could not get her to stop, so that's the only reason she's on here just now as well.
I forced my way into your house today for this sole purpose.
Couldn't stop her. It was my own fault for giving her a key as well and telling her to come on the podcast whenever she wanted, but I'm deeply upset now. I was wondering if you wanted to start off with a little story from the actual set itself.
Oh, okay, yeah. Did you have one in mind?
I do have one in mind for myself.
Okay.
One very hilarious thing I did. I was going to say dumb and embarrassing, but I think it was funny. I think it was pure physical comedy, like defined down to the core. So I actually asked, did you have anything from the set that you wanted to share at all? No, because I conducted myself like a professional at all times. That's a lie. So. She was very mean to everyone. She made me cry multiple times.
I did, yeah.
But on camera, so it's apparently fine.
Oh, yeah. I'm method, didn't you know?
Yeah, she's method, yeah. She played a real bitch in it, and she was just like that the entire time.
Nagging bitch.
No, she was wonderful to work with, wonderful actor. She has asked me to say this beforehand, but yes, fantastic person. I will tell the story of when I tumbled in the dirt, though. So we were shooting on location at this beautiful little cottage in the middle of Tasmania, which, look, Tasmania, a very scenic place, but if you could fucking sort out your weather, that would be deeply appreciated.
Rubbish, it's fine.
It was so cold.
No, it wasn't.
It was so windy.
He's lying. It was
I'm
windy.
being gaslit live right now. This is bullshit. But this beautiful little scenic cottage in the middle of nowhere, and they had this lovely idyllic rope swing. Idyllic?
Yeah, sure.
Yep. English is my second language, apologies. Rope swing in their front yard. And I was like, it'd be really fun if I swing on this and kick the director in the back. Now, not in a really mean or rough way, like in a joking, jovial way. Like in a, I was the lead, so I was asserting my dominance kind of a way. But I wanted to swing on it, and the absolute child I am, I went to swing, only one swing, and jokingly kick the director in the back. At the fulcrum of the swing, or the apex of the swing, when it's the lowest point before it starts rising again, the rope snapped and my dumbass tumbled through the dirt and lay on the ground.
Sure did.
In front of
everyone.
12 crew members, maybe?
Yeah, definitely. The two children that played our children in the film.
Real children as well. They got real children to play our children.
They did. Real redheaded children, because as a redhead, I can only birth redhead children.
Yes. And as a grey-haired man, I cannot birth any haired colours. So whatever colour the mother has, that's the dominant genes.
Exactly.
But yes, they saw it as well. Yeah, but 12 crew members. I think maybe some of the other actors were there? Were there other people there?
Maybe. So. But to be fair to you, I had just been standing on it and swinging on it. So I do think I loosened it.
That's very polite of you, thank you. This is what Jess's polite way of saying I'm much heavier than her as well. Which I am, fair enough.
There was a line in the film, spoilers, where I say I'm smaller than you. So once again, I'm method.
Also, you method, yeah. Jess was actually 6'4" and 250 pounds before we started filming, and she cut it all out. I did.
I took it very seriously. I didn't eat bread for 6 months.
Yeah, and chopped off half her legs as well.
Yeah, I did the Gattaca, but in reverse.
I haven't seen that. So
oh my gosh. Okay, well, someone out there listening to this is laughing laughing right now.
Call in now and tell me what Gattaca is. But yes, so Jess was standing on it and playing around on it, and it was absolutely fine. I went for a very gentle swing and broke it.
But that was on my birthday, so
it was on your birthday, so you're welcome.
Actually, thank you so much.
Yep.
Seb gave me 2 gifts. He gave me one of his 2 iron brews.
I did. It was like, so this film is set in Scotland, so I was like, I'll bring down Scotland's crowning achievement in the culinary scene, which is iron brew. If you don't know what that is, it's truly God's nectar.
It actually is nice, like creamy soda.
Yeah,
that's my Australian interpretation of it.
She's wrong. But I fucking love that stuff. So Jess got one of them. I drank one of them whilst I was in a pit of despair one night.
I actually looked over and saw you had like your hood up, your headphones in, like drinking your iron brew.
It was a long shoot.
I know, I could tell you'd hit rock bottom in that moment.
A little iron brew to get me back on track. So I gave Jess, very kindly gifted her that for her birthday.
Thank you.
And then a bit of, I want to say, physical art. I'd say almost like... It was better than anything we got on camera whilst we were down there. And that's including all of my acting, obviously.
Oh, absolutely.
But it wasn't recorded at all.
I know. That's what if I had a couple more seconds, I would have surely got out my phone to record. But I was the only one in our family, our camera family. Film
Fake family.
Fake family, yeah. Gosh, who didn't fall over that day because Finn fell over and got a big old hole in his trousers.
Our little 5-year-old son in the film, he fell over and tore his pants.
And they never got they hilariously never got mended. So a little Easter egg if you ever see the film, that in some of the
little boy's just got a hole in his knee.
He was in good spirits about it, and then poor Charlotte fell over because she was running so hard to do something, which I won't spoil.
I can't remember as well, so I cannot spoil. Care.
You'd already sprinted off, and I was with the children.
I was doing one of my many running scenes in this film.
He was obsessed. He was like, catch me running, catch me running, catch me running.
I was just trying to escape from my family. Not in the film, in real life. Absolute nightmare to work with.
Yeah, I know.
Call in now if you want to hear more about that.
But actually, speaking of the film, can I tell? This is an embarrassing for you story. This is what this podcast is, right? Embarrassing for you stories.
Everything I do in my life is embarrassing for me, so this is absolutely fucking perfect. I am a little worried.
No, it's actually not embarrassing for you, really, but it's just a time that they did catch me. They did one take of this particular shot where you were tying my legs up, which in a not sexual way. In a very wholesome way.
Yes. Consensual on-camera way.
Exactly. There was, we had 2 cameras operating and they only did it in one take. I can't remember why. And one of the cameras was pointed right at my face. And for some reason this day you kept calling everyone by the wrong name.
Not the wrong name. I called everyone by their real person name, not their character name.
I know, but
I am a fucking moron.
You called our daughter Jessica. You called...
Okay, that wasn't her real name as well.
I know.
Okay, I'm just an idiot. I'll own up to it. My brain is mush.
But I think that's because there's another character in the film called Jessica, and also you love me, and you probably... Is
there another character in the film called Jessica?
Yeah, then our neighbour's daughter.
Oh my God, yes. I did read the script.
He has read the script. Yeah.
Again, as I said, brain is mush. I'm so sorry though. Continue.
You're calling Cora by her real name, Charlotte, and then but in this one take, you called
our son,
Walter, Finn, and I just lost it, and I actually couldn't stop laughing. And then later, I was kind of like, oh, Glenn, do you maybe need to get that again?
Glenn, our director.
I was maybe laughing, and Luke, who was B-cam operator, was like, yeah, I got all of that.
Definitely captured. And this is like speaking to how much of a professional Jessica is. Couldn't even get past the fact that I fucked up multiple times.
I think that was the only time I laughed when you did it, and I think it was because you were doing very serious acting in the take. You were tying up my feet, and you would like barked this command, but just came out the wrong name, and no one noticed, and everyone kept going because you are professionals and you keep acting until someone calls cut. Whereas I was just like,
this guy's a fucking moron. Obviously, we're not going to use this take. I am, admittedly as well, our child did notice and found it hilarious. Wait, he is 5 though, so he has an excuse.
Yeah, and he also in a take where we were shooting a scene that was at his birthday party in the film, and there was a huge thing of balloons, and it was so windy, as Seven said, and they all just took off mid-take, and every child in the scene just stopped, quote unquote, acting and just turned and was like, balloons.
So I'm very interested to see if that made it into it as well, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, it was very cute.
Yes. fuck. This actually gets me. I will get onto your stories, I absolutely promise you. This brings me to another fucking time that I did this as well. Not on this film. Again, anyone that's listening, I'm sure by now, especially if you're a long-term listener, knows I'm a moron. None of my brain works at all. I get really caught up in the moment sometimes, and whatever names I use the most is what I call people occasionally on set.
Yeah.
So I was doing this TV show a couple of years ago, and it was this massive firefight at the end of, like, it was the climax. It was I think the final episode of the TV show, and it was this massive firefight, and it was really high stakes, and we had live like gunfire going off, and they'd rigged up some explosions and some. Do you know what a squib is? Or for anyone that's listening, a squib's like a very small. Oh, sorry,
a non-magic person.
Well, I'm so
That's the
sorry.
kind of humour you can expect.
This whole episode's going in the bin right now.
So tell me what a squib is.
A squib, yes, is this is where I mentioned Be More Chill, the musical as well, but I'm not a nerd, so we're going to move past it. Yeah.
This is where the episode goes in the bin.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough as well. When I start mentioning musicals, great musical, check it out. But a squib's essentially like you see it a lot in 80s and 90s.
They're like blood packs that
little blood packs that explode. Yes. Yeah, but they're not necessarily blood packs. They're just very small explosions. So they can be a blood pack, or they can be sometimes what you see like a bullet hole shooting into a wall with.
Oh,
so
yes.
That was going off next to my head in a scene where it was shooting bits out of a rock, and I had one word to say in this scene. Oh, sorry, three words. The character's name, get down. I pop up in this one scene. They'd rigged up, there was live gunfire going on. They'd rigged up the squibs right next to my head. I popped up from behind my rock, screamed the real person's name, not the character's name, and then started firing. And then halfway through firing, I went, oh fuck, and then said the character's name. So
you couldn't even let the tape keep going so that they
no,
I
ADR fully fucked it. Yeah, and they were like, yeah, we saw you said the wrong name. I was like, yeah, I know, I'm sorry. But it was like such a big climactic moment, and I was like, it was Carlotta, if you're listening as well. I think actually, Carlotta, let me know. Was this a nice thing that I was more concerned about you rather than the character that you were playing? That's my excuse anyway. And
you
I'm a nice person.
And you got the one take only.
Yeah. We couldn't redo the squibs. So I am
Brilliant.
so sorry. I'm a fucking idiot. Jesus Christ. But please, move on from me.
Yes.
I've told so many embarrassing stories
What
in this
else
podcast.
can we tell about our experience filming that's not too spoilery? Well, we can talk about the hotel experience we had.
We can talk about the quote-unquote accommodation experience. Jess brought her pet rats for some reason and just let them free in the hotel.
No.
And they infested the hotel. She was like, oh, I don't know where these rats came from. They've made a nest in my suitcase and ate some of my stuff. Suspicious.
The best acting I did on the shoot.
The only acting. And very suspicious as well, because I didn't see anyone else's suitcase being used as a nest.
Well, no, this is true though. So we didn't have any rats the first week, I feel, but then someone lit a fire in a room where a fire wasn't supposed to be lit, and then the smell
in a fireplace, admittely.
Yes,
the fireplace
wasn't just like fucking on the couch or something. We didn't go that.
Burned down one of the rooms.
But and there was also like a slave bedroom / bathroom downstairs, which was very disturbing. Anyway, I think this fire being lit in this room unsettled the rats, which were in their nest apparently in the
right
roof.
Next to the chimney, kind of. Yeah.
And after that, the rats just ran rampant. Everyone had a rat story. Like we'd wake up and just compare rat stories every morning.
Yeah.
But I was yet to see it. And then one day I think I had a late call. Lucky for some.
Some of us got that. Others
didn't. Whatever. And I think I was listening to music in bed, and my little wardrobe, I could hear such a commotion in there. But every time I turned down my music, it stopped. And then I was like, I actually really don't want to go and investigate. And I'm sure it's just Linda next door making noise in her room because the walls were really thin.
That was Jessica's neighbour. So
my neighbour, Linda, the woman who was the mother of the girl Charlotte that played our daughter. And then she later told me she thought the same, that she heard it too but thought it was me. Anyway,
classic gesture, being weird in a cupboard.
Just doing a little voiceover.
Yeah.
That night I actually got back really late because that was the night I was out in the freezing cold until nearly midnight.
We'll move past that.
Yeah, move past that. And then I was so cold when I got home. I had like a 30-minute shower. And then I went to my cupboard maybe to look for like an extra jumper to wear for bed or something. my suitcase, I had put a bottle of tablets in there, which I really fucking shouldn't have. I put them in there.
In hindsight, you should have. In the moment, it seemed fine, honestly.
Fine. I didn't want to leave them out on my dresser.
Yeah.
Because they were like a digestive aid tablets, which for some reason I was like, that's embarrassing. I don't want anyone to see them. I'll hide them in my suitcase.
I would much rather go on a podcast, which is nationally broadcasted, than talk about
and tell them about it. And then the bottle had been completely eaten through. Every single tablet had been eaten.
Which is impressive.
It's very impressive. Yeah. And they're made of kiwi fruit, so I'm guessing that's why the rats were attracted to them.
Yeah.
And they had they're like digestive aids. So then the rats had promptly shat in like all through my suitcase, on top of it, everywhere.
There was so much shit in the suitcase.
I know. Oh my God. And I couldn't deal with it at that point in the night, so I left it for like 2 days before I had the mental strength to deal with it.
Oh, I thought you did it the next day. You left it for 2 days. You absolute grot.
Hey, I make my bed.
Okay, I don't make my bed, but I don't leave feces in my cupboards for days on end.
You don't? That's so strange.
Well, I did use it as a toilet. Like, I got rid of it the next morning.
I didn't need it a few days to deal with it. I just didn't want to touch the packet. I think I actually did leave the bottle, the like eaten through bottle, in there as a little memento. So
anybody that's in...
Sorry, Perch.
Oh, beautiful Perch. The man that fixed everything but could not fix us.
Yeah, yes.
But yeah, if you're ever in Tasmania, go and check out that little hotel. You can find, maybe sell it as well. After this film blows up, we're going to be like super famous. You can sell Jess's IBS medication.
You can put little plaques on the doors.
Yeah,
and like,
right.
Where so-and-so slept. This is where so-and-so
This is where the ant infestation was.
Yeah.
That hotel, same hotel. We also couldn't go into the basement. It was like... taped off because there was an angry possum down there, which if you opened the door it would attack you. So, and
we were told like watch out for the ram before we arrived, but we never saw the ram. That was really disappointing.
A ram in a paddock or a field, and it would attack, apparently attack you, but never once saw it.
Yeah,
and towards the end of that shooting, I think I would have welcomed the ram attack for a couple of days off.
Yeah, right, straight into the stomach. But no one warned us about the antique store lady that lived across the street who tried to.
Getting into liable now. Oh dear. Okay, allegedly.
Yeah, true. Yeah, no.
But Jess was kidnapped by her.
Yeah, and Seb saved me and brought me back to Melbourne. So
I didn't mean to. I accidentally called her and she had to come and do something.
Actually, I was totally joking, but you actually did save me. I could not get away from this shop lady, but I luckily was like, my ride's coming. I've got to go to Hobart. They're pulling up right now. I've got to go.
We're escaping to Hobart for our one of our days off.
Yeah,
I was like, no, we have to go now. Like we can't wait around.
And that story's just flowing. Wow.
Yeah, there you go. Fucking perfect.
And then we went down to Hobart and we stayed in our little Airbnb. Did that embarrass you? I doubt it. But when Donna, our lovely Airbnb hostess, well, first she was like, oh, where are you from? Ireland? And you were like, no.
I think she said Canada or America first off.
She did say Canada. But then when you said you're from Scotland, she was like, that's the sexiest accent in the world.
Apparently not sexy enough to recognise.
Yeah, weird, right?
Yeah.
But
I also felt very uncomfortable.
I know.
I was like, oh, thanks.
I know, right? And then I was quite enjoying myself. Like we were standing in the bedroom we were going to be staying in this strange woman's house, and she was like, "Oh, that's the sexiest accent in the world." And I was like, "I'm going to join in here and just make him even more uncomfortable."
Oh, it was horribly uncomfortable. But also, one of the first things she said to Jess, she's like, "Oh my God, you are beautiful."
Oh my God, she did.
Yeah.
Thank you for saying that on a recorded format. Thank you.
Don't thank me. I never once said it.
Oh,
it was Donna, our Airbnb host.
She was lovely, though.
She was. But after all those comments, we did have to lock our doors, so she did not appear in our bedroom at night time. Again, jokes in case any of this makes its way out. This is all jokes.
Donna was actually sublime and a very good host.
Really recommend her. Yes. But let's move on from our Tasmanian adventures to some adventures which maybe don't include me.
Yes.
So I can stop being embarrassed by everything.
Stop talking about yourself, my God.
I know. Well, I am the most interesting person in the room just now, but I'm happy to move on to our guests.
Yes.
Jess, you said that you came in with some stories.
But
you've also named some of the stories as well.
Okay.
So, like previous guests, Will Jones, Holly, even Gina, previously on 2 weeks ago, we came up with some names for hers. What are the names for your stories?
Okay, I'll read them all out and then you can pick which one you want to hear first.
Oh, I fucking love this.
Intimate with Mum.
No, I do not enjoy that straight away. Can I veto any of these as well?
You might be vetoing all of them.
Oh, does it get worse? I'm sorry. No, continue.
Morphin time.
Okay, I fucking love that.
Put your phone away, whore.
Okay, wow. Jesus.
A right-wing shower.
Okay. I'm intrigued. I don't like the sound of that, but I'm intrigued by what that one means.
Sounds like something dirty. It kind of is. Menage a trois, menage a na.
Okay, that's just great. That's fucking perfect. That sounds like the headline of like a new idea article.
Right, I know, right? Runway bride. And then I've got
Runway or Runaway?
Runway. I was doing a little cute movie name pun. But it could also be Runaway Bride. They both work equally for the story.
I don't know what that movie is as well, so my apologies.
Richard Gere, Julia Roberts, classic.
Officer and a Gentleman? No. So you just said the name of it as well, so my apologies.
Oh my God, brain is mush. And I've got many stories about JSMR, which is Seb's favourite thing I've ever done, which is an ASMR show. And I subtitled it Cough, Blow, Silent Disco and Fellatio.
I mean, I love all of those names, obviously, but I am, and this is like probably, it's one of those things where like when you admit it, people are like, you hate ASMR, I'll just do it to you all the time.
I know.
Which I hate.
Which I didn't do to you.
No, you didn't, which is very polite, thank you.
I as an ASMR professional or an ASM-artist.
Hate that. As I just did some ASMR there by myself, I'm so sorry. I will put up some content warnings if you do hate ASMR. Continue listening to the episode, but maybe just put it on mute. Like play it 3 or 4 more times as well, actually.
We'll see.
But yeah.
We'll see. And then the final part, which is also JSMR related, is I just called it the flooding.
Did you just call it JSMR?
JSMR, yeah.
Oh my God.
So it's an amalgamation of ASMR and my initials, which are JS. So it's JSMR.
Your middle name's A as well, so it could be Jassimer.
I mean,
Jassimer.
There's a reason I name the shows, not you.
Jaff Mister. No, I reckon you should. Anyone that's out there, copyright that.
Yeah.
Jess is coming and knocking for that website.
I'm coming after you.
All right, okay. The one with the mum, I'm upset by it already, but I don't know whether I want to get that out of the way first.
Well, it actually is probably the most tame story.
Let's slot that in the middle. So all these perverts listening as well, and I do love you perverts as well. I really love you listening to this. I genuinely appreciate everyone that listens to this podcast. But we have to keep them interested from the get-go.
Yeah.
So maybe let's do right-wing shower.
Okay, yeah. Sure. So right-wing shower. This is an ad I shot quite a few years ago now, and
okay, this is getting me more worried. Right wing shower. Was it all of the fight for your freedom things you kept saying? Okay.
It's not actually. It's not a political party.
Okay, thank God.
It's and the funny thing is, sometimes when you audition for a TVC and it's like what am I saying? Confidential, and they'll give it a weird name. And
yeah.
Yeah. So, but then if you get hired and booked for it, they legally do have to tell you the name. Anyway, I booked this one eventually. They gave it, side note, the most weird. I think it was like White, Project White. I think it was. I shouldn't even say that, should I? But really weird for a start.
Also, that sounds pretty right wing as well.
Very. I know, right? It doesn't get much better. So, booked it. Along the process in the auditioning, I didn't know what I was auditioning for, just that it was for, like, a news outlet.
Oh, God, I'm getting more and more uncomfortable.
Do with that what you will. And all along the line in the process, it was like talent must be comfortable being depicted in the shower. Obviously not going to be nude, just depicted in the shower. Yep. But the way it was worded was as if everyone in the ad was going to be in the shower. So I was like, yeah, okay, sure. And
the DOP, the gaffers, the PA.
They're all coming into the shower with you.
It's just like Starship Troopers.
I'm actually not seeing that, but
it's an excellent reference. Anyway. And if you get it, you're cool.
As cool as the Gattaca people? I doubt it.
No, probably cooler, actually, I reckon. Anyway, sorry, continue.
So I had said, yeah, that's fine. Also, this was a really bad paying ad, but because it was confidential, the brand, you don't know how much money they had.
Which is pretty shitty, I'll be honest with you.
Very shitty. And now I'm aware of that. I, would not do it again. But anyway, so I got booked, and then so many things. First of all, they wanted me for 2 days, which they only told me the first day I was on set, and then they didn't want to pay me extra for it. But I fixed that up. But then I
fuck these people for a start,
right? And then I got to set, and then discovered that I was the only person in the ad that was going to be in the shower. And then I was kind of like...
news outlet?
Yeah, for a news outlet.
Uncomfortable.
Okay, to give a little bit more context, it was a montage of all different people waking up in the morning, getting ready for the day, and then like going to the train. I don't know, sitting in the car, listening to the radio, like that kind of shit.
Showering. Obviously, we need to show that. Some people sitting on the toilet.
I mean, they actually did that. I remember. Not me. So.
Jess is currently winking as well just now. What did you film?
There was no news outlet. No kidding. And so I was the only person that was going to be in the shower. Had I known that, I would have wanted more money.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, right?
It's also one of those weird things, and I'm so sorry to interrupt as well, but like implied nudity and actual nudity aren't that different.
Yeah, right.
Like you're still incredibly exposed.
Well, yes.
Yeah, this I'm sure leads into what you were actually like wearing in the shower
exactly.
as well.
And this is the point of my story, why I bring it up, which is that when we got to the day of me being in the shower, no one had got me a thing to wear in the shower.
What? What the fuck is this ad? This is fucked.
And so the wardrobe people had a pair of bike shorts that they like cut up into a boob tube that barely. I've got big boobs.
Humble brag.
That's actually big boob people understand. That's actually not a humble brag. That's not a brag at all. But anyway,
yeah, but small boob people.
Grass is always greener.
Yeah.
Grass is always fucking greener. Anyway, so I just was given these like a cut up bike shorts.
Flesh coloured?
No, black.
So why can't you just wear wouldn't they just have told you to bring a black boot? Well,
they did not. It was the strangest, like, so weird. Like, no underboob support because it was, like, cut-up pants.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Like, jagged from being cut. And then I just had to wear my underwear. And
did you come with a spare pair of underwear?
I'm sure I must have, surely.
Always arrive at set with a spare pair of underwear, folks. If you want to get into this business, just in case, I mean, I talk about this all the time, you could shit yourself on set.
Yes.
So always come with spare underwear.
Yes, and that segue, I do know that that's a bit of a unicorn for you.
Oh, it is. I thought you were going to fucking tell me you did it.
No, I'm not.
I shit myself in the shower, but nobody noticed.
This scene, this news outlet,
Out of a dirty protest.
No, I'm not your shitting my pants unicorn. But
well, thank you very much for coming on, Jessica. We can wrap up the podcast now.
If you let me fucking finish
I'm so
speaking.
sorry.
No, what I was going to say is that I can confirm. You're not going to hear anything more from me, but I can confirm that this person exists in Melbourne, both for a number 1 and a number 2. So
what?
You'll find them.
We'll talk off.
I know. I'm not giving you anything off air or on air.
I'm not editing any of this podcast now.
These people don't even really know me that well, so they're not even going to trace this back to me. But I promise you, they're out there. Keep going. I'm like,
I'll find it. I know of some other stories as well. That's the thing, and I just need to meet them.
Maybe I feel like the wise like wizard in the forest. I'm like, I'll help you on your quest. Maybe I can point you in the right direction.
Give me a little toilet roll with their names scrolled on it, and I have to find the other half of the toilet roll with the other half of the name. Anyway, so we're taking away from your story just now.
No, so so
partially undressed in chopped up clothes
in the shower.
In a shower.
They
closed set.
They did close the set. So they had
good, I suppose.
Yeah,
I mean, not I suppose. Like that's good at least in that respect. But also, come with modesty garments.
I know, right?
You have them as well.
It's like a one-piece bathing suit, anything. Because they were shooting me from like bird's eye view. Yeah. Above the shower head.
Oh right, like you can wear a fucking half a wetsuit.
I know, right? Yeah. So the DOP, and I wish I could. I won't name them but. Awesome, the best person.
Oh fuck yeah!
They were like up on a ladder above me, and then there were probably like 4 or 5 people in the room.
Old dudes.
I think the wardrobe lady stayed in and robed me after when I got out of the shower, soaking wet. But like the shower's curtain didn't even close that far.
Wonderful.
And then they're like shooting the water, and for the sake of the ad and the visuals, the DOP had to keep being like, the director I should say was in the room, kept being like, "Can you open your eyes?" Like, Jess, can you open your eyes? Like water like pouring into my eyes.
So you're just getting sprayed in the eyes by water. Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, and I was like, so I just had to have water poured directly into my eyes whilst I stood in the shower in like a cut up bike shorts.
What the fuck was this ad? Like genuinely. And again, like this is so much stuff. Like we've heard this so many times before, and it's funny, but it's also sad.
I did have a lot of trouble editing my stories down between like there's such a fine line between like hilarious but also just desperately sad and fucked up.
Oh, and like the industry is slowly moving towards the better direction.
Yeah.
Like, you hear this stuff, and this wasn't 50 years ago.
This was
did you feel comfortable saying how long ago it was?
I actually can't quite remember. I want to say like 2017.
Yeah, right.
Like
okay.
5-6 years ago.
So 6 years, yeah. So
Yeah,
that
and
stuff's
this is-
still happening, and you're like, fuck.
Yeah, and this is like, as I said, probably the worst paid ad I've ever shot, or nearly. And this is one of the most wealthy companies in the entire world.
Fucked.
Yeah.
Okay, well, like,
You can probably guess for yourself.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I'm going to go on their Instagram page after this and send them a scathing DM. But also, if you want to give me an ad, I'll happily take my clothes off for you.
He won't even need the bike shorts. He'll just do a nude.
No, I'll turn up with my like clothing on, whatever you want. But yeah, that's so fucked.
It's pretty fucked, isn't it?
I don't know why they wouldn't just call you and ask as well. I've had phone calls being like, hey, do you have your own nude garments as well? Because then that way you can be much more comfortable in your own clothing for a start. And it's like, oh, it's so many things that don't make sense in that.
It's so strange.
Fuck.
Oh, very funny though.
And yes, thank you for sharing that as well. But it's very sad that, again, like, I think it was even friend of the show, Rose Flanagan, was saying an incredibly similar story.
I remember
that he said as well.
Yeah.
And you're like, give people a heads up. Just because we're actors doesn't mean we'll turn up and do literally anything. Like, we're humans as well.
Yeah.
And a lot of us have very different like levels of comfort of what we're happy doing, and like a little bit of like upfrontness is fine.
Yeah.
Because like sometimes you turn up and you're just like, oh, I guess I'll do this, but I'm uncomfortable. Like, you don't want to spring it on people.
Oh,
Like,
totally.
you can find people that are comfortable to do this.
Yeah.
But also pay your actors better, you fucking
right,
arseholes.
I know. Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
Anyways.
Real downer
I
from
know,
me
gosh,
there. No, it was
just
great
leave.
story.
No.
No, it's just me. It's just me venting all my frustrations with the industry.
Right.
All right, can we maybe, and I don't know, you know these stories.
Yes.
I'm just going by their wonderful names. Is morphing time, is that a little bit more fun?
It is actually.
That's also the podcast dog trying to break into the room if you hear that in the background.
Okay, morphin time. Yeah,
Yes.
this is an audition story.
For Power Rangers?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, yes.
Did you? Don't get too excited.
Oh, okay.
But I
Well, all right. Well, whatever. What is it? Whatever. I don't care.
This one, I have a video to show you in this, and obviously, the people won't be able to see the video, but just to get your reaction.
If you
to
feel
the video.
comfortable, may we share this later on?
No, I
DM me on Instagram.
No.
$5 into my PayPal. I'll share this.
$50.
None of it is going to Jess.
I had to find this video last night for this podcast.
Oh my God,
and
yes.
I had to rewatch it because there were several takes, and I was actually, and I don't embarrass that easily, but watching it, I actually was so embarrassed. I was like, James, I don't think I can show this to Seb. I'm so embarrassed.
James being your partner.
Yes, my partner James, yes, who's also in the industry. But he was like, no, you have to. But
my God,
I'm actually really embarrassed to show you this.
Oh my God, can we please? I am so excited for this. I've not, the first time, won't be forgetting that podcast history. I'm live reacting to an audition.
So it's a part of my audition. So this is a little story that goes with it before I show you the video.
I'm on edge. I am on edge.
Oh God. During lockdown, probably like 2020, I had an audition for the Power Rangers reboot, which I think was shooting in New Zealand.
I'm so sorry to interrupt.
No, go.
So a lot of the Power Rangers TV shows actually shoot in New Zealand.
Right. Yeah. Right.
I don't know why, but I've had lots of friends audition for them because they are shot over there. Was the movie was earlier than 2020, I think, as well.
It wasn't a movie. It was the TV show.
So it was the TV show. Cool.
Yeah. Needless to say, I didn't get it, so happy to talk about it.
How dare you, Power Rangers, you fucks. No, I'm joking. Please get me on. But yeah, a lot of Power Rangers TV show shoots in New Zealand.
Right. Maybe I don't know why. maybe because Weta Workshop can make like cool like Power Rangers things.
I think most of the time it's just cardboard cities and a man dressed in like a knockoff suit. Nah, I'm joking. Power Rangers is fantastic. It's pure camp, martial arts extravaganza.
Right.
I fucking love it.
I actually watched a few eps before my audition, and it was so camp. It was so fun.
1 million different like types of Power Rangers and stuff as well.
So I wasn't actually auditioning for a Power Ranger.
Monster. I'm so sorry. I don't know why I shouted that.
No, he just like pointed at me and he said, "Monster."
Yeah, that's completely unrelated to the story.
And but I was auditioning for an extraterrestrial character.
Monster. Sorry. I won't look at you for the rest of the story. I'm joking. I'm so joking.
And so there was, in the brief, there was something about if you were auditioning for a Power Ranger, you obviously had to have like a bit of combat experience or like that kind of stuff and to include a reel of that. Anyway, so I did my audition and then my agent, who I'm no longer with, was like...
Name and shame. I
think we actually used to be with the same agent, so it was them.
Oh my God.
We're communicating with our eyes right now.
DM me $5 to who it was.
And they wrote back. Good save, Jess. They wrote back and were like, "Hey, this is great, but you haven't included your like combat reel." And I was like, "I don't think I need to. I'm not auditioning for a Power Ranger." And they're like, "No, you have to." Needless to say, they were wrong, but I did as I was told because I'm a good little girl.
I love this.
Let me find the video while we're talking. And oh God. And so I went out. This is during like a stage 4, so you could go to the park
for 1 hour a day.
Yeah,
masked up, I presume, as well.
Yeah.
Oh, not if you were doing exercise, actually.
Yeah. So I took a little yoga mat to the park, and
did you shoot it yourself?
James came. He's so
beautiful,
supportive.
James. If you are listening as well. You, James. I'm sure it must have been really rough to watch.
James, how dare you for allowing me to send this to my agent? Because now he rewatched it with me last night. And he was like, "Wow, people have seen this in the industry.
Casting agents have seen this." We had Johnny on last week as well, like fantastic person, casting associate. But he did say in his as well that they keep some of these auditions on secret files and they have it in the office. So this could be on somebody's hard drive somewhere.
Fuck. This is probably why my last agent dropped me. She like rewatched this and was like, "Fuck."
I have made a horrible mistake. Also, I'm a stunt performer myself, graded stunt performer, not meaning I'm good at it, but like I have some experience in action choreography and fighting for a camera. So I'm watching this purely from a professional standpoint as well. So I'm judging you so much more than your average person. That's why
I'm so like a billion times more embarrassed to show you this
I
because
cannot wait.
Please.
Actually,
oh God,
I'm going to shut up now.
Here's my combat video. I'm so embarrassed.
We're starting off in frog stance as a frog.
Oh my God.
Okay, we haven't edited out the part where we're dusting down our yoga mat now as well.
Okay, I did for the video at least.
Oh no, we're doing a headstand?
It's the most impressive. This is the most impressive thing I can do without a pole.
This is. Did you? You fell over. Oh my God. This is. Oh. I am so sorry, Jess. This is the best thing. The pose at the end as well. Did you not want to do a take where you didn't stumble over?
Maybe I've actually shown you the wrong take. I've probably.
And I'm so sorry to describe this, but Jess does a headstand where she doesn't get properly vertical on it, fall over out of it, tries to do a spin and get up, trips over. And I mean this in a place of love. I love you, Jess, but they're the worst punches and kicks I've seen in my life. And then does a little pose at the end like she's Wolverine. Oh, please, everyone DM Jess $50. We have to post that. Now I'm going to be with you in this boat as well. As I'm punching over my mic stand, I have got videos like that as well. So I helped my friend Henry Rollo. If you're listening as well, please write back to me. I've written to you multiple times on Instagram. You're yet to reply.
Oh wow, Henry.
Yeah, but he is a beautiful human being. He also auditioned for Power Rangers, and I helped him do a little fight choreography in the park one day, and it was bad. I wasn't a stunt performer at that point. I didn't know how to choreograph anything. Henry did his absolute best with what I gave him. We did it whilst there was a beginning of an AFL football game. We did it in Botanic Gardens in Melbourne, so everybody was walking through the gardens going to the football game, so we had so many people watch us. One point, this child just came up and sat next to us and started showing us his moves. And it is a pretty rough audition as well, I'll be honest with them. And Henry, this is no reflection on you. This is fully on me. I did not know what I was doing at the time as well. Like, you did the absolute best you could, but it was also for Power Rangers.
I imagine the people that were casting that, just the amount of like hilarity. They probably just got drunk that night and just
doofuses rolling around in parks.
Oh God. I'm so embarrassed that actual casting directors have seen that video.
I also put in a casting for Mortal Kombat, the first one.
Yes,
whilst
yes.
it didn't open casting for it. Again, filmed it in the Botanic Gardens. I will have to find that and show you it as well. I could probably post this on the Instagram page. I'm happy to post mine. It is so bad. It is so goofy. It is so not anything. Just me rolling around in a park. I actually had to delete it off my Instagram because I was like, this is a bad reflection upon what I can do now.
Right,
and if anybody from the stunt industry sees it, they'll think I'm a fucking idiot. But again, sent it into the casting directors. Never heard back, obviously. And then later on, like having made more friends in the stunt industry, they're like, oh yeah, I auditioned for that as well. And they showed me their videos. I was like, fuck man, you guys are great. What the fuck was I doing in the park rolling around with my friend and friend of the show, Paul Westbrook as well, just looking like a pair of absolute fucking morons.
I mean, bless us for trying, right?
I know. And thank you so much for Jacinta. One of our friends came along and they filmed it as well, and they were so nice about it.
Aww.
Thank you for coming along and filming it, but fuck me. It's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing, yeah,
but
right.
I love it. I'm going to have to watch that at least 20 more times before you leave as well.
Oh, no. Okay.
Fucking amazing. I love it so much. I'm so sorry. It's so good. It's so good.
I thought you'd like that. Yeah.
Okay, that's that's like clear my taste buds of the showering one. I'm so sorry. Those two stories have completely blown my mind, and I've forgotten the name of literally everything else. Apart from maybe fellatio or something like that. There
you go.
All right, thank you. All right, intimate with mum again. Can we get that one out the way? It's updating.
And it's also quite a misleading name.
Okay.
This is another audition story, which I'm sure most gals have, and I'm sure everyone has this story actually. But
intimate with mum?
No, I just gave it a saucy name to entice you in, which has obviously worked.
Entice me in or disgust me? One of the two.
One of the, who knows? But for some reason, I've been asked to like dance in auditions more than I've been asked to do anything else in an audition. Do you ever get that?
I've been asked to dance twice. I don't look like a dancer.
Clearly. You look like a glumping
I look like a cop
elephant.
dad. That's all I
cop daddy.
Daddy.
Cop daddy.
I only ever get asked to audition to be a cop or a dad. And sometimes a cop dad.
Yeah.
Hence cop dad.
Sorry, cop daddy.
Cop daddy, yes.
Yes, okay.
That's why we're assless chaps. But I'm just dressed as a policeman as well. But yeah, like I very rarely get asked to... maybe the way I put myself across as well. I don't come across as the most fun person all the time.
I know, right? You're such a bore.
I'm such a bore and a miserable fuck. So I never usually get asked for the dancing.
The dancing,
unless it's like ironic dancing. You're like, why would this grumpy man dance?
Yeah, right. Okay.
But I've been asked to maybe dance twice, which is bad. I'm a bad dancer.
Oh, are you? That shocks me.
Okay, Jess is being sarcastic here, and it's rude, to be honest. And maybe I'm going to have to delete this entire episode.
Oh, wow. Okay.
No, I'm sorry. We're getting back to you. Yeah,
yes,
nobody likes your acting skills, so they want you to dance.
Thank you. Okay, back to me. No, I think because I get I know your typecast is cop daddy.
Yeah.
Mine is usually quirky.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm so quirky with my red hair, or period look with my red hair.
Yeah.
Or what's my other one that I get? I guess like sex worker. Again, red hair.
Yeah, right.
Big boobs. They're my three.
Ah. Okay.
But this, I think, quirky for ads, I always get in for the quirky gal, or big facial expressions, or I love, I'll always send them to my friend. They'll be like, she's pretty, but not too pretty. I'm like, thank you so much, casting.
Not as pretty as our leads.
Yeah. She's not a model. She's not beautiful. She's just 52% pretty. No, that's a joke. That last one. But...
more like 54% guys, honestly. No, that's a joke as well, obviously. Beautiful. Jess is beautiful. Look her up on Instagram. Send her dick pics. That's a joke, by the way. I once had...
It's not.
I once got a casting through saying boringly attractive. And I was like... Is this a compliment or a diss?
So good. I love that. We a little group of friends and I, we always go back to one I got that was she's simply a human woman.
Well, you're off to a good start there.
as opposed to like what I asked.
Actually, an animorph, part lichen and part gerbil.
Exactly, that is me, the gerbil.
Yep.
So anyway, so I always get asked to dance in TVC auditions
Because you're quirky.
because I'm so quirky. But it's the vibe is usually like just doing some mundane task, but then you like hear the music and you start dancing.
Fuck, man, I hate that. That's the only 2 times I've been asked to dance. Is
It's
that
like that, right?
And they're like, choose a song you like, and I was
I
like,
know.
I don't like normal songs.
You don't. I can confirm that is true. My God.
My again, we spent way too much time together in Tassie. So my 2 categories of music that I like are fighting Irish songs, so like Dropkick Murphys and stuff like that, or musicals.
No.
I fucking love musicals.
We watched High School Musical one night on the last night because we were staying with
fucking
kids,
love it.
so we could only watch PG films. He was
insisted
mouthing
upon it as well.
I know. He was like trying to play it cool. He's like, "Oh, I don't care, but High School Musical would be fine.
Okay,
fine
first
with
of all,
me."
I did not try and play it cool. I professed my love for that film straight away, and then I would say the name of every song before it actually happened.
I know.
as well.
And then he was like mouthing the lyrics. It was so disturbing.
Gotta work it out.
Can I leave? Can I get out that window? Okay,
No, it doesn't open far enough.
Oh God! See, I actually hate musicals, so that's the
Chalk and
dynamic
cheese does
going
too.
on right
Chalk
here.
and cheese.
Yeah, it's true. So for this one, this was back way before COVID, like years ago, and it was still like in-person auditions.
Yep.
It was like the brief was like wear like bright, colorful clothing. It was for like department store, something like that.
Okay.
Went in. I won't say the casting office, but lovely, love them. I go there probably more than anywhere else. And
Humble
we did
brag.
we did like a take of me. No, we did my chat to camera.
Yep.
And then she was like, "Okay, great. And so have you got your bathers?"
What?
And I was like, "Huh?" She was like, yeah. So you comfortable stripping down to your bathers here? Do you want to go get changed? And I was like, "Sorry, what?" My brief said colourful clothing. And she was like, "Oh, no, your character, you're meant to be in your bathers and dancing in your bathers." And I was like, "Huh?" And then we were both kind of standing there like,
the old standoff.
Standoff.
Shit.
And then
casting agent's not going to ask me to do it in my underwear.
Well,
do I ask if they want it?
Well,
in my underwear?
actually, no, she did ask.
I'm sorry, I went silent. My jaw dropped, which I realise is not ideal for podcasting, but fucking hell.
Because I was wearing like a pencil skirt, and then like a bright, colourful top. Maybe it was like vague corporate fun colours. And I was like, she was like, "Can you do it in your underwear? Are you comfortable?" And I was like, "Well, no, because I'm wearing like a flesh-coloured thong because I'm wearing like a pencil skirt. I didn't want to have like VPL."
Visible panty line
Visible
for
panty
any
line.
guy that's listening.
Yeah, right. So she was like, "Okay, can you go home and shoot a video of you dancing in your bathers and then send it in?" So I was like, "Yep, okay." Went home, and this shows how young I was. I was still living at home at the time. Not that young, to be honest, but I don't want to sound like too much of a loser. And so I shut up. So I went home and I was like, "Mum, do you mind shooting?" This is like before actors really had like ring lights didn't exist yet. I don't know if I even had like tripod, or it had to be like full body.
Yeah.
And it's like I didn't have like anywhere in the house that was like a full body setup. So I just like put a blind down, and my mum just had to film me dancing around in my bikini. And my mum's like, prude is maybe like a bit too strong, but like it's a little bit in there. So it was very uncomfortable.
Like next door to prude?
Yeah.
Like, not full prude, but...
Yeah, well, let's say if I ever put up, because I do pole dancing, if I ever put up like a pole dancing video on my Instagram stories, she'll comment and be like, "Too much information."
Oh, that's kind of cute.
No, is it? Is it not traumatic for me as a person? Anyway, no.
Oh, no, it's funny for me. I don't know about you. This is like, so explaining as well for people like that maybe don't understand. Like, firstly, not too uncommon to be asked weird things like that for auditions. And anyone that's listening that's starting out in the industry, you can absolutely say no to these things as well. But a lot of the time you kind of get caught up and you're like, I do kind of want this job as well. And if you are comfortable with it, I mean, yeah, fuck yeah, go for it. But yeah, you get put in really weird situations. And
so weird.
Pre-COVID, everything was in the room, what we call it. So you go into the casting office and you do it in there, which makes it seem more official. But then pre-COVID, nobody had, so like pretty much everyone has, and I'm even pointing this in my podcast studio, a ring light,
watch
which
out.
I know, right? Which is like, just a circular light with a little phone holder in the middle of it, so it lights you well. And then people have like painted walls or a plain wall, or I've got a drop down drape or curtain thing. Yeah. but so it's got this professional look to it. Whereas before that, I remember I got a couple like asking to just film it in my house, and I was like, I just did it in front of a couch with weird overhead lighting, which is never good for you as well.
Yeah.
Asking your mum to film
I know, and you know when you have to ask like a civilian, as I call it, like a non-actor to shoot, and they like don't really know what they're doing. And they have to just like put on like I think even a specific song. I don't. It wasn't Flow Ride, A Good Feeling. I just know that that's another one that I've had to dance to recently. But something like that, and just like. Oh my God, just like dancing your bathers right in front of your mum. Oh, at least a minute. And I did like multiple takes as well because, oh God, it was just like the awkwardness in the room was, anyway.
Palpable. I would imagine.
Yeah.
We will be posting that video on the Instagram page as well. That one you can get for free. But sending that stuff in as well, which is all above board, but I never feel comfortable doing it.
Yeah.
I had to, maybe just at the start of this year or the start of last year, had to send in. I did an audition for a washing machine. And it had to be, it had to be like in the washing machine, and you had to pretend to tumble.
Sorry, you had to be inside the washing machine.
Yeah, that's what the brief asked us to do.
What?
Tumble out of the washing machine. I'm not doing that. I'm pretending for a start. So you get sent this stuff all the time. And like, can you pretend like you've fallen out your washing machine and you slide out? And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? So I just did it in front of my drop-down curtain. And then I was like, they're like, you're covered in clothes and stuff, and you're in your underwear. And I was like, so... I was in my underwear, and they're like, you have to be all wet. So I had a shower in my underwear, just a little pair of Y fronts, taking all these towels off me, and then did the thing. And then I sent it in, and then I was like, oh, they've asked for a full body pic of me in my underwear. I don't remember that in the brief, and I couldn't find it in the brief, but they asked for it in return, and I just emailed her. I was like, hey, just double checking, do you want this? And I was like, they're like, yeah, if that's okay.
Like, yes.
And I was like, yeah. So I just sent this one photo of me all wet in my underwear.
Oh my
gosh.
And
I just felt so fucking weird.
And do you get like, do you name your partner on the podcast?
No.
Yeah. Do you get your partner to take like, you just
my
do it
partner
all yourself?
Is long suffering enough. So
she's seen enough.
Separate from that. So I just set it up in the room, and like I'll get another actor friend to read for me a lot of the time off camera. I won't involve her. She's put up with too much of my bullshit over the years. So I just get someone else in. But like, it's that weird thing where it's like, I got lots of friends that are actors, but I'm like, I'm not going to ask them to come around and take a photo of me all wet in my underwear. So I just propped up my phone and managed to get it that way. But fuck, it's weird sometimes.
It is. And I feel like sometimes people in the industry will be like, no one should ever ask for photos of you in your underwear. But then you can understand why in some contexts they do.
Yeah.
But it's also like, this doesn't feel great. But I also get why you're asking about it. But
it's like, fucking weird grey area.
It's so
and there's
weird.
no rules or laws around it as well.
I think I had one a few years ago maybe. That was like, just had to send a photo of my stomach. So weird.
Is that what?
I don't know.
I'm sorry, I just lost my words.
I actually.
What for?
I actually
TV commercial?
Again, a TVC. Okay. I can't remember what it was for. Maybe like a fitness thing, maybe a gut thing. Probably the bottle of pills that is now in my the rat kiwi fruit pills. I don't remember what it was for, but again, so weird.
You do get really weird requests for certain close-up parts of your body. Sometimes I've had hands multiple times. I got ugly hands.
No, you don't. They're beautiful and delicate and sweet,
and they've been broken a few times.
Yeah, quite bruised right now. He was being rude earlier, so I gave him a little knock.
That's on. I was going to say camera. That's on tape. No, I'm going to sue Jess.
Whoopsie.
Whoopsie.
It's funny when it's a man. No, that's totally a joke.
She's not. She hates men. But yeah, like I've sent in a couple of hand photos before to my agent and then to my to the casting directors, and every time they're like, not this time. Like, fair enough. But it's weird sometimes, just like how comfortable you have to be with almost every single part of your body.
I know. Yeah. And totally. And, you know, tant pis if you're not.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah. I don't actually have very nice feet, but can you not
hit Jess up if you want a photo of her feet? Well, I'll take a photo right now. She has her little piggies out just now.
I do actually. I get very warm, so
yeah.
Seb said, "Make yourself at home in the office," and I sure
so
did.
Jess is wearing nothing at all just now. Very uncomfortable.
Very on brand for me. I have a little cutout bike shorts on my chest, and that's it.
She does. No. She's also went in the shower beforehand and it's soaking wet. It's really rude. But I mean, I did send her a photo of me soaking wet in my underwear before this as well. So,
yeah, Yeah, we're even. Yeah.
Yeah. Please don't cancel either of us.
Yeah. We're in it together.
Each other?
Yeah, I know, right?
I don't know.
I'm taking you down with me.
Yeah. It's all right. You'll definitely win out with that.
Yes.
I'm a middle-aged white man, so I'm much more cancelable.
I know you're
Cancelable?
so cancelable.
Hello. Now, before we get into our next story, I've got to tell you the main reason why I'm able to fumble through my awkward and embarrassing day-to-day occasions. Coffee. Now, fortunately for myself and all of the listeners, we have paired with one of Melbourne's best coffee companies, Coffee on Q, a coffee worth talking about. Get ready to caffeinate yourself through your next awkward moment with Coffee on Q's signature Elevate blend. Crafted in-house with precision, each sip delivers delightful flavour notes of strawberry, chocolate and marmalade. And here's the deal you won't want to miss. Coffee on Q is offering an exclusive discount to all our listeners. Simply use the code WBFT15 at checkout to enjoy an incredible 15% off all coffee purchases. That's right, WBFT15 is a key to savings, making sure you're properly awake to remember your next big embarrassing moment. Now, this code is valid for all coffee products, so make sure you stock up on your favourites. And the best part? You can use the code WBFT15 as many times as you like. So don't miss out on the opportunity to enjoy the finest coffee Melbourne has to offer. Simply visit Coffee on Q, and that's QCUE.com.au, and enter the discount code WBFT15 at checkout to unlock 15% off your next coffee order. That's WBFT15 at coffeeonq.com.au. Coffee on Q, where awkward moments pair perfectly with your daily cup.
You know what? On that, actually.
Fuck. Yes.
No, I'm going to give you a compliment because I know how much you like compliments.
I don't. I'm editing this part of the podcast.
You can just replay it in your headphones as you try to fall asleep and just weep.
I'll do this in ASMR as well, then.
Do you want me to?
Please, no.
Fast. No, I won't.
Thank God. I'm wearing headphones as well for anyone.
Oh, true you are.
For anyone that's listening. That's everybody. No one else is in the room just now.
I hope not.
No.
So, but the first time we caught up for coffee before going down to shoot the film together, which we did a couple of times just to get to know each other and chat a bit about our characters.
We were playing husband and wife in this as well, so I think it's important to develop a little bit of a relationship with that person as well, so you're not super awkward around them the first time you meet.
Yes, and not that the film called for much intimacy. They were just
I'm so sorry, I cut you off there.
I'm trying to tell a fucking story.
I know, I just don't want any compliments. I don't like.
I know he's convulsing right now. It's so strange. So, but yeah, not that the film called for much intimacy, but there was, obviously playing husband and wife, and now I'm just talking about intimacy stuff in general. That would also involve children and touching children and in inappropriate touching ways.
Touching children as in giving them hugs.
Jess
has worded that in the worst way possible.
I know.
So cancel Jess.
Yeah, no, fuck, don't. But I used to be really interested in becoming an intimacy coordinator. And
do you want to give maybe a bit of a background of what that is for people that maybe aren't in the industry?
Yeah, so I guess a really easy way to describe it is it's like, you would never choreograph a fight on set without a fight choreographer. In intimacy coordinator,
you shouldn't.
Shouldn't.
There's people that try and do that as well, which is very dangerous.
It's true.
Yeah, and it looks terrible. Yeah, and it's not safe, which leads us nicely into safety for intimacy coordination as well.
Yeah, just think of it like an intimacy coordinator is there to coordinate the intimacy, because if something goes wrong in a fight, someone could get physically harmed. Whereas if something goes wrong in an intimate scene, not only could you potentially get physically harmed, you could get emotionally, psychologically harmed. Everything.
We don't know where your background's coming from as well. Everybody's got different comfort levels.
Yeah.
You have this kind of thing that when you're watching a film, you're like, okay, that man is squeezing that woman's breast. And then you're like, okay, well, I can do that in the films that I'm in because I've seen it in other films. And you're like, it doesn't come with this assumed consent in films. Like it's very... I think pushing towards it a lot more now as well. This wasn't always the way, but like you can't just assume things like that.
Yeah.
Really working hard to be a safe and inclusive industry.
Yeah, definitely. And so that's kind of where intimacy coordinators have come in the last few years, and they're just there to advocate for the actors. They're not there to replace the director. They're just there to support the director, work with the director, but advocate for the actors, because as actors, we're so often the most vulnerable person in the room because we can get fired, we can get replaced. we're
literally
we're vulnerable.
sometimes standing in a room like 5-6 people. That's still more than you've probably been naked in front of your entire life.
Yeah, well,
wearing cut-off bike shorts and normal people, Jess, normal people. I mean, we've obviously all been fully naked on stage before in front of hundreds of adoring fans.
No, that's just you, Seb.
Well, I have, yes.
I
that's
know
the only way I can
Oh my
get
God, he won't stop telling me about it. No, I'm joking again.
I don't. Well, stop trying to cancel me. But yeah, like it's very revealing and terrifying sometimes for people as well. They might not be comfortable, even though you think possibly beforehand you will be. So it's nice to have someone on your side.
Yeah, and I think because as actors, the training or the idea, the school of thought used to be before intimacy coordinators came in that it was like, oh, you're an actor, this is part of your job. You just push, like, quote unquote, push through it.
Push your boundaries.
You're just like, you're fine with it. And still actors I see so often will be like, yeah, it's fine. But it's like they haven't actually stopped to check in with themselves if it's fine.
Yeah.
And so I was really lucky. I got to work with Ida O'Brien, who's a really famous English intimacy coordinator. She does like sex education behind her eyes. She's done like fucking everything. I think she's
the TV show as well, sex education.
Yes. And I got to work with her pre-COVID, and I would have loved to have become an intimacy coordinator, but it's actually really hard in this country at the moment. It's
very difficult. They're starting to open up some programs a little bit more from what I can understand.
Yeah, which I'm so happy about. And I've worked a little bit with Michaela Bannis in terms of like workshop stuff. She's awesome as well. Wow, why are we talking about this?
Well, because you were going to give me a compliment because being a middle-aged white man, I brought it up.
You did.
That's all I need.
Exactly what. So yeah, and so that's where we started. So and this is something that Michaela was talking about a lot. It's like intimacy is not just a sex scene. It's like if it's a scene between a mother and child, it's like how can I touch that child in a way that they're comfortable and serves the story and the characters. Even like a scene of a woman giving birth, that's very intimate. All of that stuff is covered.
Yeah.
And so here is where the compliment comes in, that we met up for coffee, and before I had to say anything, you brought up it would be great to have an intimacy chat and have a third party present, which is a huge part of intimacy coordination, that you never do anything in private, because then actors get confused about what's your private self, what's your public self, what's your professional self, and that's when feelings get confused, stuff like that.
Also, I think coming from like a middle-aged white man, which obviously I have to voice all of my opinions, you don't want to be coming across being like, is it okay if I kiss you? Because that can seem like you're putting pressure on as well.
Yeah.
And so if there's a third party there as well, then it kind of acts as a safer environment as well. Yeah,
definitely, like a witness, a benevolent witness, like someone just there to have both your backs and stuff. But no, all of this was to say that I really appreciated that you actually brought it up before I had to, because that never happens. My experience is usually that men are so uncomfortable bringing it up because often they don't want to look like a creep.
Yeah.
So they say nothing.
Oh, I'm absolutely fine being a creep. That's a joke as well. But yeah, which is kind of sad as well, because then I think if you don't bring it up, then it kind of doesn't happen.
Oh yeah, and I work with a fair few male directors, and I know they're older than you, middle-aged men, and they don't want to look like a creep.
Yep.
And so they just don't want to talk about it. And I think I'm quite passionate about like intimacy coming back into film and TV, because I feel like there's been the last like decade, it's been going away for all this stuff, post Me Too, all that. It's like, get rid of it, but it's not about getting rid of it. It's just about doing it safely, because we have to be portraying like safe, consensual, beautiful, like sexual experiences for young people to learn from, and so that people know that they're normal and not alone and all of that stuff.
Because that's what so many people, like I don't know about yourself, but that's why I learned a lot of stuff as well, because I never got any sex education in school till I was like 15 or 16. So like you do learn from movies and TV shows, for better or worse. So if you have good representations rather than like 90s movies where you're like, oh, these guys are watching women shower. How cheeky of them.
Michael Douglas just got his back raked by some claws.
Yeah, exactly. Where you're like, oh, so that's all fine.
Yeah.
But like, whereas if you show positive, and I think like, sex is beautiful, like the human body is beautiful and everything like that. So showing that in a positive way and like safely doing it for the performers as well, it's fucking massive.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I am probably the best person out there. No, I feel very sad that is something you have to compliment me for as well. I genuinely didn't do that for any kind of. I just want everyone to be comfortable on set as well.
I know you do. You're such a sweet man. There was another compliment. You can't take it.
Oh, swiftly moving on.
Yeah. Oh
all right.
Gosh,
sorry,
wow.
we've taken up so much time on this podcast as well. So let's go on. All right, let's fire through a couple of these.
Choose a story, any story.
All righty, let's go to Menage a Trois, Menage a Nas, which I think that follows on quite nicely from the consent talk and the safety talk.
Yeah, actually, it does.
We'll do that, and then we'll do put away your phone, whore.
Okay, great. So I did this great show for Melbourne Fringe that came over from Edinburgh. It had a really good run called Menage.
Oh.
It was a really cool show that they had created. All of the dialogue was taken verbatim from interviews that the writer/director had conducted with actual sex workers.
Oh, sick.
And it was an immersive show that they did in Edinburgh. And then two performers do a 35-minute show, swapping every time. So they did like 3 shows a night, 6 shows in total.
Oh, wow.
And it was really immersive. It's like you greet people it's meant to feel like a sex worker is letting you into their home.
Oh, sick.
And just talking to you. And it was really cool. So they brought it to Melbourne. They did a casting call and I got the second role because only one of the original performers came over for it.
Oh, cool.
It was really fun. So for like 3 weeks in Fringe, I want to say 2016, we did like 3 shows a night each, starting at like 6:30, went till quite late in the night.
Fuck, that's a lot of shows as well. Like 3 shows a night is a lot.
It was, but ever since then, I'm so thankful for that experience. Firstly, because it was an awesome show and me and the other actor had such a good time together.
Fuck yeah.
And so many good stories, but it's always taught me that I've got really good endurance. So from then I've always known like I can do a
show fit's such a specific thing as well, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So we did this really cool show called Menage and we did it in North Melbourne back when Fringe was like there.
Yeah.
And it was only 2 audience members per show.
Holy shit.
That's why there were so many shows.
Wow.
So it was meant to be really intimate, interactive and immersive. 3 eyes.
Oh, yeah. And only 4 eyes on you as well. And there you go. That was fucking hire me as a writer, guys. But was it in like a theatre space? Was it in a home?
It was actually in this great cafe called Griggins and Orr.
Oh, okay.
It was so where the Fringe Hub used to be in North Melbourne. The 2 guests would meet there at the desk, get given a phone number and an envelope, and it would be like, open it up, text this number. And it was this just shitty mobile phone that me and Claire, the other performer, had on set. And then it was probably like a 5-minute walk once they would text us and it would be like, they would just write whatever. So sometimes they'd just be like, hello. Other times they would try to be like funny or horny or whatever. And
ew.
I know, right? And we just had like a copy and paste walk down and meet me at the corner of this place. And it was this really cute cafe, really kind of like I was going to say rustic, but that's not the right word. Just like real cutesy, like lollies, milk bar. There was like a whole like wall of jars of like old school lollies, which me and Claire ate so much of. It's because we had to get there at like 4 p.m. And then we didn't have any dinner and then I would just eat the lollies. And so...
did the cafe ever know?
No.
Oh my God.
I don't think they exist anymore.
Oh, that's fine then.
Sure.
Yeah. Name and shame them then.
Sorry. And we also like had to bump in. So downstairs was the actual cafe. And then after like 10 minutes in the show, you would lead them up this staircase to a bedroom, which in the daytime was just part of the cafe.
Yep.
But we had to bump in like a bed and a desk.
What a pain in the ass.
I know, right? Real actors on the job. And then next door in this other room was like where if you weren't doing that show, you would just hang out. And there was like an operator because there were a few sound and lighting cues in it.
Okay, yeah.
And we had like a baby monitor camera so we could like hear and see so you knew when the cues were coming.
Yeah.
So we just like watched each other do the show. But so it was really cool. Like the 2 people would walk down, you would let them in and it was a bit of like a fake out. It would start and it would be like creepy music and you would start this like real intense monologue about like the time your uncle touched you, but then you like break out after a minute. You're like, joke, I'm totally joking. Is that what you thought the show was going to be like? And then you're like, do you want tea? And you just like chat to them.
Oh.
So that part was genuinely improvised. and then you would go upstairs, and then it would go more into like loosely like guiding the conversation towards this monologue that I'm going to go into, and now I'm going to this monologue, and now this lighting and sound cue is going to take me into this monologue. And there were like funny ones, sad ones, etc.
Was it all about sex work as well, or
so it was like real sex workers' experiences, but also I guess the overall vibe was just shedding light on just how sex workers are just regular people. And
funny that, isn't it?
I know, is it wild? What? Did you know that, listeners? And like the character, this loose character that had kind of became all of them, like had a son, so it kind of led to this beautiful story about a son. And and then the end of the show, a doorbell cue would go as if like your next client was there, and you would, without a word, I would just get up off the bed and walk out of the room.
Okay.
But that leads me to the stories, which are like not that interesting really, but I mean, just cool story overall. But there was a bit where there would be like a sound and lighting cue in the show, and then I would like get up and go and stand in the corner, and there would be like really cool shadows everywhere while this like kind of intense story was being told over voiceover. And we started the show in like like a dressing gown.
Oh, yeah.
And then in this story, you would like take the dressing gown off. My other performer was just in underwear, no bra. Because I have big boobs, also wore a bra in case they fell out while I was just in my robe. So then you like
brag.
No, grass is greener. And then you like take the dressing gown off and put a nightie on for the rest of the show. But one show, I took my dressing gown off and then realized I'd forgotten to preset my nightie between shows.
Oh,
so I had nothing to put on. So I just awkwardly put my dressing gown back on. And
so you just took a dressing gown off
and then put it back on. Yeah, exactly.
Wow, what did that mean? Like,
I know, right?
Interpreted it this way.
It was so awkward. And there was this one particular, and obviously every audience was very different and didn't know what they were getting. Sometimes people were really awkward and shy. Sometimes people would not shut the fuck up, and you had like, there's another show starting soon. You need to let me finish my monologue. Right. But I had one couple that obviously were like, had seen in the program, like, oh, this sounds fucking hot. Let's like, I think they actually thought I was a sex worker, and it was like, not a show.
They're like, oh, they're just saying this is fringe, but I'm just turning up to fuck.
Yeah, exactly. And even instead of texting at the start, they called.
Oh, wow.
And I had to, and they were like, hello, what's your name, gorgeous? And like, that's the vibe I got for the whole show. Just this middle-aged couple hitting on me hardcore.
They're just coming in with like an upside down pineapple on their top.
What?
Oh, that's the international sign for swingers. I didn't know that.
No, I didn't know that.
Next time anyone's out, upside down pineapples, and for a good time.
What?
Yeah.
I did not know that. Why is it an upside down pineapple?
Look, I didn't create it. I don't know the bloody... and what? I don't know the history of it. I'm also an idiot and can't think of the right word there, but yeah... Anyway, sorry, I've derailed
this. No, hey, that's fine. But yeah, so I had this really difficult show where this couple just would not stop trying to like make a threesome happen.
Wow.
And because a lot of the show you're sitting on a bed and they're sitting like where your knee is to me right now, which is a
great descriptor for a purely audio medium.
It's like not even a meter away.
No, very close.
And then it's the point where you invite them to sit on the bed with you to do a task with you. And then at the end they wouldn't leave. So like you walk out of the room and eventually I think the other actor had to go in and be like, hey guys. And they were like, hey, where's the other girl gone? Where's the other girl gone? And she was
they're
like,
both just sitting in there in their own underwear.
They're like, when does the fun start?
Yeah.
But because we have the camera, obviously, we just like watch them in the other room, not leaving, like going through all of the props, like holding up the
what
underwear.
What were the props?
There was like a washing basket which was full of our clothes and our son's clothes. So it's, like revealing like the washing and like a beauty station and stuff. So they were like holding up my bras and stuff and
just pocketing them.
I know, and we're just like looking into the camera. We're like, fucking get out of here, guys. So anyway,
wow,
good times.
Did they? I presume they left.
They did eventually leave. Yeah.
Were they annoyed?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I just hid in the other room.
There's also sex clubs as well, guys.
I know. This is theatre.
This is what Shakespeare would have wanted, right? This is the fucking beautiful art.
Well, that was the curse of like the Saturday nights. You got like the rowdy people. Yep. Though actually my colleague unfortunately got a show where just one guy came. I think actually he bought both tickets so he could have the show to himself. And then she felt very uncomfortable.
That fucking sucks.
Well, then he booked again and she refused to do the show.
Yeah, fair.
So we called the director and he just called the guy and met him at front of the house and was like, sorry, the performer's not well. And he was like really pissed, but too bad.
Yeah, right. I'm always amazed by that kind of weird relationship that sometimes people think like, I own you because I've bought a ticket.
I know.
And I can do whatever I want. You're like, no, gross.
I know.
Also, oh, that's creepy ass.
It's very creepy, isn't it? Yeah. Well, so that was my menage a trois, menage a nah.
Well, I mean, obviously that's a fantastic title for your autobiography as well. But I'm going to copyright it, so you're going to have to pay me if you want to use it. Well, swiftly moving on to the next one as well then.
Put your phone away, whore. Okay, so...
Is this a funny one? This sounds aggressive.
It's funny and aggressive.
Oh, dear.
So I did. So just scratch my knees.
Please
just
scratch
do a
away.
little click there. So I do a lot of school touring, as you know. I have been into pretty much every school in Victoria to perform. And
clarifying that, I presumed you weren't just going to learn.
And so we do, like, I've done the Crucible for like 5 years. I still play Abigail Williams, even though I'm fastly approaching the mid-30s. And so I've had like every audience in history, but it's such good training because it's like you're so show fit because you're doing 2 shows a day.
Yeah.
And then you're performing to teenagers who don't want to fucking be there.
They do not give a shit.
So it's really good training.
Yeah.
It's like really good and keeps you present. Shit goes wrong all the time. My colleagues know that I love when shit goes wrong.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, fuck yeah, something new's happening because I've done this show so many times. I'm so dead. And anyway, so this particular show, these kids were being such little rat bags. They were filming on their phones. And what got my goat is that they were only filming there. So we're doing the Crucible crossed with, it was a comparison of the Crucible with a book called Year of Wonders, which...
Okay.
Again, set in like witch hunty times, lots of violence against women. And what got me shitty is that the boys, I should say, were only filming the parts where there was violence against me or my colleague, Sarah Clark, whom you know.
Oh, yes.
Lovely Sarah.
Fantastic. Well, actor and photographer as well. Yeah.
And human.
No, I'm joking, Sarah. You're great. You're great.
And if the students are really bad in a show, we will, and because we narrate between scenes sometimes, and I because I played the main characters, like I didn't really do much narration.
Oh my god! Humble brag again. Big boobs and play the lead.
And so usually one of my mates would, if the kids were really bad, kind of in a narration at the appropriate time, be like, hey,
shut the fuck up.
Yeah, shut the fuck up. Or like a more respectful version of that. Or like, hey, thanks. Or just like, thanks, guys, would sometimes be enough.
Yeah.
These kids fucking sucked. One of them was wearing sunnies, I think was high.
Wow. Wow.
And we were doing the courtroom scene in the Crucible. And for context, for anyone that's not as familiar with that scene in the Crucible, it's like it starts to get built to a climax, and then Abigail starts pretending to have a freak out when the pressure starts to get put on her. And then she says, oh God, take away this shadow. She calls on God, and then that's when John Proctor loses it and comes over and grabs her by the head and drags her across the stage, and he's like, how do you call heaven? Ho, ho. So that's that part.
Yep.
That part was fast approaching in the scene, and I could see these little shits out the corner of my eye fucking filming.
Wow, how creepy as well.
I know. And just like laughing and filming in the front row. Teachers either couldn't see or didn't do anything about it.
Yikes.
And I was really trying to ignore it, or I was trying to like look at them, but they weren't really all giving me, like, weren't acknowledging me. And of all of the parts in the show that I chose to break character, it was like right before I had to be like, oh, Heavenly Father, I was down on my knees praying, and then I just lost it, and I just pointed at them and I said, put your phone away now. And then next thing, Lee hadn't heard this happen. He was playing John Proctor. I was like, no. And he like grabbed my hair and dragged me across the stage and was like, oh.
Wow.
So the timing was impeccable. And then after the show, we kind of called, we got down with the students and the teachers came over and were like, what's going on? What's all this? And we were like, hey, they were filming. It was really inappropriate. They were filming the parts where the women were getting beaten up and dragged across the stage, and the little shits denied it. And it must be a thing, because this has happened heaps of times, that the teachers would be like, oh, well, they say they didn't do it, so they must have to like they are obviously in a very difficult position.
Yeah, I don't know what you do there.
Maybe they're maybe not allowed to look at the kid's phone.
I imagine they wouldn't be allowed to.
Yeah. And so that was the end of it. But it just so happens that the theatre company's director, his son goes to this school. And later that day or the next day, he was scrolling through his Instagram and he was like, oh, shit. And his dad was like, what? And there was a video of me on Instagram, like mid-scene, and then just pointing at the camera and being like, put your phone away. And then being like, oh. And the company director, like, lost his mind.
Wow.
Like, added the kid on Instagram. It's such a middle-aged man. Added the kid on Instagram and was like, give me that video, delete it now.
Holy
and just like, yeah.
Fuck, that's brutal.
Hunted down this kid, was like to his son, who's this kid? Who's his parents? Give me his number and stuff. So.
Jesus. Also, why post that on Instagram?
I know.
What a fucking weird thing.
I know, right? So I'd like to imagine what that video is. I think that would be the video that I would want to see, not me doing like Power Rangers in the park.
That video makes me uncomfortable. Power Rangers in the park was fun. This is just sad and uncomfortable.
It's real weird, isn't it? The timing of just like, I hadn't even got the words out of my mouth and then my head just getting yanked to the side and like tossed across the ground. Very strange.
Fine with you screaming whore in schools?
So, well, it's not.
I mean, it's part of it, obviously.
It's part of it, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, some schools are better than others. I mean, shock horror, the like private boys' schools are the worst. Like,
what a surprise!
We also do Women of Troy, and there's there's a bit where this soldier like pushes another woman out the way, grabs my baby out of my arms, pushes me to the ground, carries my baby off and kills it. And this one school like cheered.
Jesus Christ.
So my mate, shout out to Dom, came straight out after that scene because he was the first to narrate. And he was like, hey guys, if you think violence against women is funny, you can tell us why in the Q&A after the show.
Yeah.
But how about for now you just sit tight and let us do the speaking?
Did anyone speak up after that?
No. Yeah, and the teacher really like laid into them afterwards.
Yeah,
so.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but yeah.
That's fucked.
Yeah, it's fucked, right? Yeah.
Fuck, do we have any like fun stories now?
Gosh,
oh my God.
Oh my gosh. I know I told you my stories really kind of go between like
deeply traumatic to very fun.
Well, the JSMR where
we do JSMR and then finish on the flooding, can we? Is that the last two as well? Are they?
Yeah, they're okay. The flooding is the finale to JSMR, so they're all related.
God, are they all JSMR? We're just going to wrap up the podcast here. No, please, let's hear your horrible JSMR.
Well, I'll make you listen to some of it, but I'll give some context first. So I was going to do a live ASMR show for Fringe many years ago because I was just like, fuck it, I'm such a serious actor. I just want to do something fucking stupid.
I just want to have fun. I just want to cut loose in the most disgusting way possible.
But I actually used to quite like ASMR. Like
again, Jeff, she's all kinds of wrong.
Wow,
I can't describe how wrong she is to all of you listeners. Write to her on Instagram. Tell her how wrong she is.
No, the people love ASMR, so
I know. Look, I'm not yucking anyone's yum, although I have just spent a long time doing it there.
Have, yeah. But
it's not for me. It is just not for me.
Look, that's fine. That's fine. I've heard it all. I've heard everyone's reasons for why they do and don't like it.
Yep.
So the reason I wanted to make a show about it is because I found when I had insomnia in my 20s, it helped me fall asleep.
Yeah, right.
So I kind of used to like it back then, and then I feel like people have gotten the wrong idea, which fair enough, I've cultivated it, that I'm like obsessed with ASMR. I'm not. I don't watch it that much these days.
You've named ASMR after you.
I am the godfather of ASMR.
Yeah, exactly. So take that as you will, listener.
Yeah. But I wanted to do something stupid because I'd mostly done like serious scripted drama plays, and I just wanted to like make something shit. You know,
sometimes like acting can be fun. Doesn't have to be like, horribly depressing stuff all the time. Although Melbourne does love its horribly depressing plays.
It does, exactly. And Fringe is the place to do that shit.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, and so because ASMR is obviously more like something you like watch on your laptop at home or through like you just listen to it, I thought let's make a live show.
Yeah.
And I was going to hire like silent wireless
disco
silent disco headset.
Yeah.
And I've got a special microphone that has 2 ears on it.
I hate it so much. Oh.
which is specifically for ASMR and other things. But it's like,
whilst we're on the subject of microphones, do we mind moving the microphone a little closer to our face as you're slowly moving away from this microphone?
Let me just put it right.
Thank you so much.
How's that?
Awful, but I can hear you now as well.
How's that?
Oh, stop doing that. Absolutely stop doing that.
And and it's called it's called a binaural microphone, meaning that each different the two different ears in it, you hear. If I talk into this ear, you hear in this ear.
Panasonic? No, not Panasonic. Panoramic sound, is that what it's like?
I guess,
where, like, you can hear 360.
Yeah. And so I had that, and then of course lockdown came back, so that Fringe moved to online. So I was like, fuck it, I'll make it into a film.
Well, at least that kind of works online as well.
Yeah. And so that was 2021. I made like a 1-hour show about ASMR that was like kind of making fun of it, a little bit parodying it, but also like, no, seriously, here's some like pretty fucked stories about my life. So I was like talking about like why I liked ASMR in the first place. Oh, wow. Like all kinds of things.
Yeah, right.
And so that was that one, and it did well. Like it actually won an award, which was so wild.
Humble brag.
Oh, fuck.
Big boobs. The lead and has won Fringe Awards.
Oh, God. I'm the worst. And so I thought, well, let's bring it back next year because obviously, you know, people at Fringe tend to you keep going. If you fall onto a good thing, you keep going. Yeah. And I thought I'd
milk that until it's fucking dry.
I fucking can't stand the sight of you.
Yeah.
And so I thought, well, now that I can do it in person, I should do my original idea.
Yeah.
So for Fringe last year, and Fringe were doing this thing called Fringe of the Hub, which is where they were offering performers unconventional spaces around Trades Hall to do shows in. Did you go to Fringe last year? Did you support your fellow artists?
Put me on the spot here. I went to... Oh, fuck. I saw some Fringe.
Okay.
What are you doing this to me?
Okay.
I'm a fucking struggling artist. I can't afford to go. Everyone goes to Fringe because they're artists because they have a fucking artist pass.
No, that's the thing. And that's the
Sorry.
You got really defensive there. Wow.
I really did.
Hey, I'll always give you a free artist pass. I'll just put you down as like photographer.
I was part of a show which I had to pull out of because I got a role on a TV show which took up a lot of my time. But that show was actually part of the unconventional space, the Fringe Hub thing.
What was the show you were meant to do?
They changed the name of it, which I cannot remember what the updated name, but the original name when I was part of it was Sammy's 6th birthday, and they changed it to...
Oh, yeah. It was something like Sam's having his 6th birthday and you're all invited. It was something like that.
I think so, or maybe something like that. Yeah.
I know. I was at Fringe.
Oh, okay. Well, I was busy working on a TV show.
Okay.
So I'm pretty good.
Who's humble bragging now?
Me. I wasn't the lead, though, so... And I don't have large breasts. And I've never won a Fringe Award. So
well, who's the loser then? No, I'm kidding.
You're superior in every way.
Oh, God. And so let's context. So I was given this space at Fringe, I was actually down in Tassie when the spaces were being dished out. So I kind of got the remaining bit.
So you got the kitchenette.
Kind of. So like downstairs there was this kind of open bar bit, like the hub, like the meeting point where the box office was, and they took the toilets, all that good stuff. Yep. And then off that was just an alcove that was
I know that.
There was like a kind of the first floor was covering it, but then it was also just open to the forces, nature.
Yeah. Outside.
And outside, yes, thank you. That's what I was looking for.
Yep.
So I didn't have much choice, and I kind of was like, okay. But the thing is with this show is that sound quality is extremely important,
and you don't want passerby and traffic in the background, I presume, as well. No. And so they kind of said, "Oh, don't worry, this is going to be like a quiet space. It's just a meeting spot. The like music and stuff will be like upstairs." Like, okay. And it's also next to the bar, which is like, it's not massive bar, but you do get a lot of people in there before and after shows.
Yeah.
Everyone that's in there trying to schmooze.
Yeah,
disgusting.
Right? I know. Fucking actors.
Yeah.
So anyway, I took the space. We curtained it off. My friend, who's an amazing designer, Dan Barber, he's the guy. He's won like every green room for design ever. He
Green Room, like an independent theatre awards here in Victoria.
Yes,
yeah,
correct.
They're not all of Australia, are they?
They're just Victoria. Yeah, and he just did like Bloom, the musical at MTC.
Oh, fuck yeah.
He's doing like Malthouse next year.
I should get him on the podcast instead.
You should, though he hates talking about himself, so good luck. Oh. But beautiful man. very talented, and he's actually just a good personal friend of mine. It's the only reason he did JSMR for me in his spare time. But
it's good to have friends like that.
I know. Yeah. And so the idea for the live one, since I had this small space and I was thinking back to Menage and how much fun I'd had in this, like, I kind of like to challenge myself, I guess, with like interactive, immersive shows, keep myself on my toes, keep myself interested. And the idea was just to do like get a tiny tent and go like fortune teller vibe with it.
Okay.
And just have 2 audience members at a time. And so do multiple shows a night since I knew.
And you can say that you sold out every night as well.
Right.
Fucking smart. See, that's why you should look post-COVID. Look at everybody that was like sold out run.
And then you're like,
there was like a 10 person. That's all you could have in there.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
No, well.
Side note.
Well, Fringe talked me out of doing that because they were like, well, you know, we've just come out of lockdown. So many people are just not coming. They get COVID. They get sick.
Of course.
And that people just generally are shit and don't turn up.
And we want more money from you as well.
Exactly. So we highly recommend you up your capacity.
Yeah.
So I put it up to 10 per show.
Okay.
And then later on when the season was doing well, we made it 12 people because that's like literally all we could fit in the space.
Yeah, right.
So my amazing friend Dan built me, you know, like in the movie Big, there's that the Zoltar. That box. Yeah. That was my idea for it, or that was his idea that he gave me. Whatever. I'm just stealing his ideas now. And
just claim this your own. He's not going to come on and defend himself, so just say it.
Malthouse, I can design your show next year. It's cool. And so
I'll be in it if you want Malthouse. Anyway, sorry, sidetrack. Sorry, you were in a box.
Yeah, I was in a box and he'd painted like my face on it and it was like JSMR and it was like had a velvet curtain.
Oh, wow.
And he painted this beautiful mural to hang around to cordon off the space so that people in the bar couldn't see in. He did this huge, amazing mural. Like I sent him a photo of me and he just turned it into a thing.
Oh, fuck yeah.
So that's just all like the context. And so the people would come in and the way I designed it was so I wanted every show to be different.
Yeah, nice.
And so to go with the fortune teller vibe, I brought a little prop.
Oh my God. So again, like great for it. Audio medium.
Once again, I do know this is a podcast, but so I designed these
cards.
I designed these tarot cards.
Yeah, wow.
You want to
let me open sesame, and there's a priestess on there. Skin deep. There's a lady blowing bubblegum with a mirror. Leading lady. Oh, she's got red hair and large breasts.
She does not have large breasts. She has breasts. Wow.
All right, whatever. Mukbang. I hate that. It's a naked lady with.
Do you know what mukbang is?
I know what mukbangs are. How dare you? And for anyone that doesn't know, actually, do you want to tell them what a mukbang is?
What do you tell them because you've got such a strong reaction to the word.
ASMR is people speaking creepily into your ears, and mukbangs is people eating super loudly into a microphone and like smacking their lips, and they'll do far too large meals of them like slurping down fucking crab. It's disgusting. It's fucking disgusting.
And I actually do agree. I can't stand the sound of people eating. It's the most popular form of ASMR.
It's so bizarre, right?
It's so bizarre. But I find it the sound of people eating in general really grosses me out.
Any Scottish person out there knows what this means, but it gives me the book.
It gives you the book.
After dark, we've got a couple of cheeky naked ladies with a devil man. Soulmates, there's a carpenter. No, a shoe cobbler. Sorry, carpenter. What am I talking about? Unspoken, there's JSMR blowing a horn at lots of naked people.
So actually what I did is I based these on actual existing tarot cards and I just like drew over the top.
Titty tap. Oh, tippy tap. Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Wow, he's just got breasts on the mind now. Oh my God.
Always. Chop chop. It's Rapunzel washing her hair, except it's Jess. Sweet Dreams, which is... there's a lot of stuff going on in this one.
Kind of like story time.
Yeah, story time. Sensorial, but aura is a different colour. And there's a lady holding a ball. And Home Sweet Home, and looks like it's just straight out of like Jack and the Beanstalk or something like that. Yeah.
So when
these are beautiful. So these are everything that you had. Oh, there's on the back of the cards it says JSMR and lots of ears. So that's a little bit upsetting, I'll be honest with you. Beautiful cards, though. Beautiful cards.
Thank you. So that's for context. When the audience came in, I had these 12 cards, and I would put I would be like, choose one, and then the audience chose.
So they got to see the face of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And they and so they had very specific pairings. So we had like somewhat manipulated it. Me and actually Sarah Clark came in to direct it for me this year.
Awesome.
Felt like I needed an outside eye.
Yeah, for sure.
So there were 6
outside
pairings. Outside ear. Very good.
Yeah, like, available for writing jobs.
And so we had like quite specific pairings of like how to open the show with 2, like where's like the peak of the show, which included like the mukbang segment.
Oh, so did you actually eat for the mukbang segment?
I did, yeah.
That is upsetting.
It became so much fun that sometimes if they chose the other card, I'd be like, mukbang anyway, fuck you guys.
What did you eat?
So I had 7 little dishes that on top of said mukbang on top of them, and I'd be like, pick one, and they would pick a letter. And then it was all like either like sounds that I thought might actually be kind of nice, like popping candy. And then I would like open my mouth and it would be like... Yeah. And then I had like 2-minute noodles I would slurp, and that was the most disgusting.
Just, like,
you like
cringing just now.
Yeah.
I can't stop twitching my fingers.
What else? There was like honeycomb, really like crunchy.
All of this is like genuinely giving a physical
yogurt.
reaction.
I hate that. And so, but each food I accompanied it with a story from my life, so there's like more going on.
I got tummy problems, so I have to eat yogurt.
Woe is me. So that's all context for what JSMR the show was.
Okay.
But what are the actual little story? I did, so because the audiences were so small, I did 3 shows back to back a night, and there were 45
hectic.
minutes every night. So I did many shows.
Yeah, wow.
And these are just some of the ridiculous things that happened on my season.
Oh, please tell away. As long as you don't tell them in an ASM way.
I promise. But if you're rude to me, well, I'll make you watch my ASMR show.
I'm never rude to any of my guests. Thank you very much.
Come on. So one of them, I only had one audience member turn up for.
So, and again, like Fringe or any sort of performers, they always have their friends and family come along. Did you know this person?
I didn't.
Oh, okay, cool.
I didn't. And we kind of became mates after. Like that was
beautiful.
James Summer brought people together. The number
of tearing this podcast apart.
The number of people that would stay and chat to me after, and we became friends and stuff.
Like, can you just whisper this in my ear and then switch ears sometime? Would you mind just drinking this? They're
like, I don't like your voice at normal speaking volume.
Yeah. Oh, yuck. That's what you actually sound like.
Yeah, unfollow. But so obviously my capacity going from 2 people per show for 45 shows up to 10 per show, that made my capacity 450 people. And of course, that meant some shows were fairly empty. And again, like fucking whatever. I've done everything. So
we've all done one. I say one person shows to one person.
Yeah. So this man, so lovely. I won't name them, but they're like low-key famous. I didn't actually know them
Rob
when they
Mills.
came. No.
Okay.
But they were
I'm going to keep Eddie Perfect.
No, they're like a musician, and that's what I'm going to say.
Paul Kelly.
No. I said low-key. I said low-key famous.
Yeah, okay, low-key famous. I'm sorry. Continue.
Yes.
Hilltop Hood. Sorry.
But this person was such an angel. They came and sat in the front row.
Aww.
And I performed this 45-minute show just to them. But they really needed to blow their nose. But because they had no escape from my eye contact. Like if ever I had to like turn to grab a prop, I'd turn back and they'd be like, just blowing my nose.
I suppose they weren't like mic'd as well, so you couldn't hear them, right?
I mean, yeah, like we both had, because I also had to wear the headphones in the show so that I could hear what was going on. Yep. But I just felt so bad for them. I just wanted to be like, you can blow your nose, it's okay. But the way they kept trying to hide it.
That's an audience member as well. Oh, the podcast dog has broken into the room as well. So here we go.
Oh.
Come here. You be quiet, okay? Oh, she's kicking over the microphone stands and everything now. All right. She came. She
felt how like cringingly embarrassing my story was.
She did. Oh. I'm so sorry, everybody. We're going to be back in 1 second. And we're back. I'm so sorry. It's only Mish that gets the privilege. Mish Wittrup, friend of the show, gets the privilege of having the dog in the room when we record. Oh, yes. Everyone else just has to put up with little old me.
Oh, it's awful.
But sorry, yes. Snotty, low-key famous musician.
Yeah, so that was one of them. Good times. And then by the 3rd week of Fringe, I myself got very sick because I was also doing another show at the same time.
Oh, wow.
Another one that I'd written at 5:30.
Humble brag.
So I would do a 5:30 to 6:30 show and then catch the tram up from Butterfly Club to Trades Hall and
Three in a row.
And
Holy
then do
shit.
and then so by the third week I was kind of losing my voice, and then obviously in ASMR it's not very good.
I don't know, the little raspy like, hey, how are you?
Well, yes.
Is that's what I think you sound like.
Right. Wow.
Also, you're maybe the guy from Saw.
Oh God.
You want to play a game?
Oh no.
Sorry. So yes, so you are now the snotty person.
Well, yeah. So I was now the snotty person, and you know when you get a cough and you cannot stop coughing.
Yeah.
So I got that during one of my shows, and there was like a reviewer in, there was a fringe judge in.
No!
Could not stop coughing.
Wow.
It was the most painful thing.
Sucks.
It fucking sucks. So that was just another fun one. Oh, and another good one. The people that I hired the silent disco headphones from.
Yeah.
I offered them comps to come and see it one night.
Nice.
The only show in the entire season where the headphones fucked up was the one that they came to.
Well, that's their fault then. Name and shame this company. Fuck you, no, I'm joking.
It was so uncomfortable. And again, there was like, not the CEO of Fringe, but basically the next most important person in Fringe was also in this show.
Of course.
And I spent the first 15 minutes ducking under trying to fix the tech. So that was a good time.
Which is what you want, out of breath, people doing ASMR. I'm so sorry, guys. I just got to be back in.
Sorry, I just got to cough again.
Yeah.
And then
I'm so sorry, guys.
And then so the show could end of one of two ways. Either you picked the Sweet Dreams card and I read you a bedtime story.
Yuck. Sorry, I'm so sorry.
It did kind of become a fucked up bedtime story because it's my show.
Yeah. And it's also Melbourne Fringe, so you have to be edgy.
She's so edgy. Yeah. Oh my God, he's my trauma.
Oh.
And but
give me a Green Room Award. Give me a Fringe Award. Sorry, I'll stop hijacking your story.
This the other ending to the show, if you chose the After Dark card, and I started that segment, I'd be like all things that are not intended to be sexual, there are always those people who will insist on making it so. And tonight, ASMR. And tonight, those people are you. And then I did a kind of parody sex ASMR show.
Oh wow! What did you say?
I didn't say that much, but it was as if I was talking to a person at the back of the room, on the fourth wall. That's industry talk. Fourth wall.
Fourth wall's what's there but not there. Theater. So yeah.
And it was as if they had paid me to do things for them. Yeah. And I just had stupid props. I put on a stupid mask. I had a little tub with water, and I would so stupid, but I would disappear down in my box and then come back out and be doing water sounds with a sponge in the water. Oh my God, you actually nearly just you gagged. I
do not like that,
but people like the sound of water. It's nice.
Fair enough. I don't mind trickling water in the background.
I was that. I was squeezing a sponge and it was trickling.
Somebody's squeezing it. Yeah, sorry. I realise I am absolutely yucking someone's gum here as well. But
it's fine. It's fine.
That's my God-given right as a middle-aged white man. No, I'm joking. I'm a freak as well. I've got all my own shit. So yeah. But that's what the after dark card.
So that's how it started, and I'd be like, "Oh my gosh, she just caught me in the bath," and just it was really stupid.
Oh, wow.
And then I would do things I had a tub of foam, which is big in ASMR, foam that you just play with and reshape and stuff, kind of cloudy. And I would pretend that was a certain part of my body and just play with that.
Did people get proper turned on by this?
I don't want to answer that. I mean, I don't.
Yes. Just a few guys in the audience being like, I really enjoyed the show. I'm going to have a couple of minutes before I can leave. I cannot stand up just now. But
oh God,
a lot of guys tying jackets the other way around on their waist.
Well, the ironic thing is that when everyone comes in at the top of the show, I would put a blanket on everyone's lap. It was I tucked everyone into bed at the top of the show. So, everyone's laps were covered.
Yeah. So get a boner all you want, guys. Get a wide on, ladies.
That actually never occurred to me until you just said that.
I'm sorry.
How dare you?
You were literally doing sexual ASMR. How did that not occur?
Well, and the unfortunate thing is that the show that my parents, because they're such supportive parents, came along to, the After Dark card got chosen. And on top of those things I just said, there was also a bit where I got kind of like a sea cucumber. You know those I don't know, I guess it's a toy, a sensory toy that's a plastic tube that you can move.
Oh, is it the thing that's filled with water and it's
yeah. You can put a finger in the middle, so I would do
it's
that.
The precursor to a fleshlight.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I had a fleshlight precursor.
Yeah.
And I would like be just pretending to jack someone off with it.
Oh, wow. And your parents were in the room for this?
My parents were in the room like several meters away from me because it was a very small space.
Your mum and dad just taking the headphones off and being like,
just like,
I'm so happy to support our daughter. But I am not listening to her jerk someone off.
And then it gets even worse.
Oh,
I put
no.
I put things in my mouth. I actually don't remember what, but things went in my mouth.
No. Oh, God. Your mom's like, look, I was fine recording her dancing in her bathing suit, but this is one step too far.
Too far, yeah.
This is honestly.
Oh, so yeah, that was a fun time.
For who?
Oh God, hopefully not my dad.
No. He's sitting next to this one man who's like profusely sweating, like slowly pushing his crotch further back, trying to hide his erection.
He's like, that's my daughter.
He's like, that's my daughter. Just really proud dad. Oh, Mr. Stanley.
Oh, Mr. Stanley.
That's beautiful. That is truly.
Oh dear, yeah. Well, the final story for you.
Yeah, so flooding of GSMR, wasn't it? Yeah, we will. I think this is maybe the longest podcast I've ever done.
God,
as well.
I told you you wouldn't be able to shut me up.
Yeah, no, I'm editing most of it out there, so I think it's going to be about 25 minutes in total.
Oh, no. And so, as aforementioned, the weather was the show was open to the elements partially, even though we had put up a lot of curtains,
which I presume don't stop a lot of rain.
No, they sure don't.
Yeah.
And I actually had to cancel 2 nights of the show because Fringe were like, "Hey, there's going to be flash flooding in Melbourne. We recommend you cancel your show." Oh,
Melbourne, I love you for that.
Oh, classic. And so I did. I had to cancel a few.
Fuck, that sucks.
And then on the last night, I had 3 shows.
Yeah,
it really started raining. In the second show, there was just like a tiny sprinkling of rain coming in.
I mean, like, it's beautiful that Fringe gave you this venue, but like, if it's open to the elements and can flood, you're like, hey guys, maybe we don't have this alleyway as a venue because that kind of fucks up people's chance of putting their show on as well. Yeah.
And also, like, you know, I had all these headphones that I had hired. I had to have my so many electronics, my laptop, so much stuff back there, so many props. So yeah, the trickling continued. It continued in the last show. The rain was like so loud at points in the show that people could barely hear me, but it was a full house, which was awesome.
Yeah.
And
not ideal for ASMR when you can't hear it.
Yeah. But we did what we could. And but the rain was getting heavier and heavier. These 2 people in the front row were getting so wet. They very politely stayed from the rain. Well,
I don't know what stories you were
telling.
I'm sorry. Please don't cancel me.
And but yeah, so the rain keeps getting heavier.
Yeah, wow.
And then out of nowhere, we were in the last 5 minutes of the show.
Yeah.
I may even have been doing After Dark, or the bit that often came before After Dark was where I'd get everyone to close their eyes and I would take them on a genuinely lovely, no hidden agenda guided meditation with their eyes shut.
Yeah, lovely.
And then out of nowhere, water like 2 inches deep floods across the floor.
Fuck, that's a lot of water.
It was a lot of water. It was like a flash flood in my show.
Oh my God.
And everyone's suddenly kind of going, oh, like picking up their shit, like but still everyone was so polite. Everyone tried to stay and just like shift their chair over. And it was fucked. I was like trying to get shit off the ground. And then eventually, it was right at the end of the show where I'd do this bit where I would hand everyone in the audience something.
Yeah.
I was at the back of the room and I was like wading through the water trying to get back to my mic to be like, guys, it's okay. You can leave. It's okay. And then everyone.
This isn't part of the show.
It's part of the show. It's not immersive. It's not that immersive. And then as soon as
I'm available for writing jobs, guys.
As soon as I gave them permission, everyone was like, okay, and just fucking legged it out of the room. But they still had their headphones on.
Fuck, yeah.
And it was truly like pouring in from above, flooding across the ground.
Jesus.
So everyone was like panic running out of this tiny room. And I think I had 2 friends in the last show that stayed to help me.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
I my laptop had cords across the ground.
And again, like as an artist, you can't afford to replace anything.
Right.
Like we're not rich. Like great sold out shows. You're like, I'll maybe break even.
I know, right? There's only 12 of you.
Yeah.
Sold out, but there's 12 of you. And so this like stampede of people just ran out of my room into the main bar. And luckily for me, some of my mates were in the bar.
Yeah.
They were like, oh my God, Jess, show what's going on. So
as your box floats out.
I'm trying to like pick up the important stuff and I'm being so like, when people are like, do you want a hand? I'm like, it's okay, save yourselves, go. But luckily for me, like everyone came running in. My mates like heroically like helped me.
Holy shit.
And it was actually the best way to bump out my show, which I was going to have to do that night anyway.
Oh, so you did this on purpose?
I did it on purpose. I caused the flooding, but everything got carried out of that room. Like my box flooded. Someone had to like track down every audience member to get their headphones back. Everything was like wet and ruined.
What a fucking nightmare.
It was so fucked.
Like last show as well, which is not a good way to end it. It's kind of cool.
It was kind of like a cleansing.
Yeah.
Cleansing of the horrific experience
with disgusting rainwater from Melbourne streets.
Yeah. But I mean, like my show got bummed out so fast and everyone felt so bad for me that they let me like drive my car right in and pack it up and stuff. So in a way it was a win.
Well, I mean, nice in that respect, but that's a bit fucked. Yeah. That sucks. Okay, so all of our stories do kind of end on a sad note.
They all end on like, oh, no, that's shit.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll give out Jess's PayPal at the end of this. If you feel bad for her, just send her a few bucks. You do have to pay her for some of her videos as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm sure if you're into ASMR, if you're one of those people, she could send you some of that as well.
I mean, I do feel like we should end by making you watch just a tiny bit of ASMR.
Is it actually? So is this you doing ASMR? This is
me doing ASMR.
Okay. Can you hold it up to the microphone so the audience can hear it as well, please?
Okay.
And look, again, I'm not into this. I genuinely am not judging you if you are, but this is a content warning for people that dislike this kind of stuff. So how long have we got? 30 seconds?
Yeah, it's coming soon. Let me just...
Oh, this is great as well stuff. Honestly, people just waiting around for somebody to pull up something off their phone as well. Again, thank you for sticking around this long in the podcast. It is the longest one. But I have very much enjoyed all of your stories as well.
Oh, I'm glad.
Yeah. So we'll bring up this sort of stuff, we'll bring up this on Jess's phone, and then we will wrap up as well. So I'm going to say, content warning. If you don't want to hear this, then I'd skip forward 30 seconds. I'll give you a heads up when that's about to happen. But for all you perverts, you can also bookmark this time as well, and you can play it back as much as you like.
I'm so sorry. It's still going to take me a second to find it.
Oh my God. All right. Well, we're going to wrap up the show now. We'll put this in at the end. So I will say that I'll put in the end. We're going to have a nice little bit of Jess introducing the show as well in her Scottish accent, which was horrendous. And then the final 30 seconds of the show will be me listening to JSMR, which I'm very upset by. But I will say at the end, at the end of every week, you can find the podcast Won't Be Forgetting That Pod across most of the social media platforms. If you did enjoy this episode as well, please do rate it 5 stars on your podcast listener of choice. If you could tell someone about it, that's usually the best way of getting it out there. Word of mouth really does help. Subscribe. Please follow myself as well, Seb Muirhead, Muirhead, across Instagram and YouTube. Jess, if you're not too busy still looking up your stuff, where can we find you?
You can find me at Stanley on Instagram, which is JSTANNY.
Sorry, this will also be in the show notes as well.
Yes, and also Spinning Plates Co. is my theatre company. We've got our sellout show, The Crocodile, is coming back in September this year.
And that was more than 12 people as well that she sold out to. So that's going to be at 45 Below.
FortyFive Downstairs.
Oh my God, I call that the wrong fucking name every time. 45 Downstairs. Beautiful venue on Flinders Lane. All of the information will be in the show notes as well, but do follow Spinning Plates Co. on Instagram too for all of the updates. All right, we're going to hang out until Jess brings this up.
Oh God, I'm so sorry. Where can I find it?
All right, here we are. 30 seconds. Content warning for anyone now as well, but here's JSMR.
Before we get into the show, I just want to make sure that you are as relaxed as possible. So, you just lie back and put your body into my hands, and I am going to tuck you in, okay?
I've not even been keeping an eye on the time.
Behind your back.
Oh, I genuinely hate this so much.
No,
I'm so sorry.
That's
hilarious. So bad.
You're so uncomfortable.
I was
just
so
like
on edge
clutching yourself, just like what's
was I?
next?
It was so mouthy as well. Thank you for sharing that. And again, anyone
You're
listening to that, can we
welcome.
find that anywhere online? Can we find any of your JSMR stuff online?
No, not yet. It's one of my when I have time projects to actually do an ASMR channel, but that probably means it will never actually happen.
Okay,
so.
good. Well, yeah, again, if you do want to check out any of that stuff, check out Stanley as well on Instagram. Thank you again, though, mate. And
Thank
here is
you.
Jess doing the introduction to the show.
A podcast talking about all the awkward and embarrassing moments in the entertainment industry. I am your host, Sam Muirhead.
This is by far the worst thing I've ever heard in my life as well, so I can only apologise.
Just kidding, listeners. It's not Seb. Gotcha.
So this is going to be a lovely little... If you've stuck around to the end of the podcast, I'm going to put this at the end of the podcast. But now we're...